Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Rashida and today is another Nclex prep video. I recently put up a video about how I studied for the Nclex for 2 weeks. I'll link the video above so that you can watch that. And in the video I mentioned that I use UWorld and Kaplan. And I've gotten a lot of questions about stats and things like that, which is normal. When I was studying, I wanted to know everyone's stats too to see where I lined up. So this video is kind of a review, and I'll go over how I use both softwares and what my stats were. So for Kaplan, I actually don't have access to my Kaplan account anymore. So I'm not 100% sure what my stats were specifically, but I can give you a broad idea. I usually scored in the 50s and 60s on my exams. I think for the diagnostic I might have scored in the low 60s, high 50s. My school always said like a 65 or higher was good, but Kaplan never really specified what a good grade was, so I was always unsure of how I was doing in Kaplan. UWorld, on the other hand, had kind of a gauge. It would show you the average number of people that got the problem correct. Like it would say 50% of people answered this question correctly. That way you were kind of able to gauge how you were doing in comparison to other people who were using the software, which I liked. In terms of a diagnostic exam with UWorld, I actually didn't purchase that package that came with the predictor exam, and I actually know someone who didn't do well on the predictor exam and said that they probably weren't going to pass, and they did pass. So even if you don't do well on the predictor exam or the diagnostic, don't lose heart. It's just to gauge where you are. Everyone's different. Just because you don't do well on Kaplan or UWorld doesn't mean that you're not going to pass the exam. I actually don't know anyone that did well on UWorld or Kaplan. I don't know anyone who was scoring like 90s and 100s on their exams. So definitely don't lose heart if you're not scoring that well. Just gauge how well you're doing by your own progress. My average score for UWorld overall was a 53%, and I did about 650 questions on the software. I did about the same amount of questions on Kaplan between different exams and exams that I generated through the test bank, and altogether I did around 1,150 questions between those two softwares. Another difference between the two softwares that I appreciated is with UWorld, the package that I bought anyway, you could only answer up to 75 questions, whereas Kaplan, there were exams on there that had over 200 questions, which is really good to do just in case. I think that it's good to do the max number of questions just because you don't know how long you're going to be sitting there. My exam shut off at 70 something questions, but the most that I did while studying was 180 or 185, just to make sure that I was prepared to sit there for a long time. Like let's say your test shuts off at 150 questions. You don't want the first time that you see 150 questions to be while you're sitting at the exam. Even if it is, again, everyone's different. It doesn't mean that you're not going to pass. It's just nice to feel like you've been here before. You've done this before. Another thing that I liked about the Kaplan software is the specialized exams. There's an exam on there that has all select all that apply questions, which I highly recommend. And that's because by the time I got to the exam, I wasn't worried about select all that apply questions. I already did them, been there, done that. I did a billion of them, so even if there were a billion on my exam, I felt confident and comfortable that I was going to do well with them. So that's something else to keep in mind between the two softwares. That wasn't an option on UWorld, although UWorld does have select all that apply questions that pop up. There isn't an option to just choose that type of question. In terms of pricing, Kaplan is more expensive. I didn't pay for it. Well, it was included in my tuition. It was a software that my school used, whereas UWorld, I paid $119. I think it might be slightly more expensive now. Every time I look up, these softwares are more expensive than the last time I looked them up. So with the $119, I had a 30-day subscription, and like I said, it did not come with the predictor exam. It was just a test bank. And then for Kaplan, their test bank starts at $100, but the whole software overall starts at $400. And there is a money-back guarantee, and I believe they're doing a 20% off sale right now. So that's something else to look into. Promo codes and whatever you can do to save, because the Nclex is expensive enough. So save all the money that you can. I do like that Kaplan does have a money back guarantee. So if you don't pass, you can contact them to get a refund. I'm not sure what the process is like, but that is an option. Whereas I don't think UWorld has that guarantee. Although $400 may seem like a lot, if you are considering Kaplan, I do suggest that you buy the whole software just because it comes with videos. Of course, you can look up videos on YouTube, but there are more specialized videos on there that I liked. And then also there's instructions of how to use the decision tree. Of course, you can use YouTube and Google to find out how to use it, but that's how I learned how to use it, and I found that effective. So just so you know, the decision tree doesn't work 100% of the time, but it did help me narrow down my answers, and therefore I had a better chance of answering the question correctly. Another difference between the two softwares to appreciate is the length of the rationales. Kaplan's rationales were usually one sentence, which is good when you don't have much time to study. Let's say you have plans later in the day and you're studying in the morning and you want to be able to just do questions and go over rationales quickly. Kaplan did the trick, okay? Whereas UWorld, the rationales were long, very long. Sometimes they would include pictures, which was very helpful. Because I used both softwares, I didn't use any other resources except for YouTube to help me with cardiac strips, ABGs, and fluid and electrolytes. Outside of that, most of my notes came from UWorld and Kaplan. Mostly UWorld, since the rationales were so long. If you're just going to use Kaplan, I would highly suggest supplementing the software with videos or books like the nursing success books are great, and the Saunders book is great as well. I know someone who only used Kaplan and she supplemented her studying with her Saunders book, so that's always an option as well. I really enjoy being able to use both softwares. If I can go back in time, I would use both softwares again, just because I know that that's what worked for me. Not everything is for everybody. You might decide that you prefer one over the other, and that's fine. For me, this is what worked, and I really liked them both for different reasons. And like I said, not everything is for everyone, so you might not like them, you might like them. I know some people who swear by UWorld, and I know people who have used UWorld and didn't like it. I know someone who used UWorld the first time she took the Nclex, she didn't pass, and then she went back and used solely Kaplan, and now she swears by Kaplan. So it really depends on you, and again, the software is only as good as the work that you put in. Buying these things and spending this money isn't just going to guarantee that you pass the Nclex. You really have to put the time in and focus. Again, don't forget to check out my other video. I believe the link should still be up top, and see what I did to study, and hopefully that will help you. Let me know if you guys have any questions or any feedback. I'm here to help you guys get that Nclex done and over with. I know the Nclex can be a lot, and it can be a lot to study for, but just put the time in now and you won't have to do it again. And if you do have to do it again, it's not the end of the world. You are gonna pass, trust me, and you'll look back and be proud of what you did. Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, the like button, share this video with your friends, turn on your post notifications, and tune in next time.